A Holden man was arrested Saturday night for violating his post-conviction bail for the second time.
According to the Holden Police Department, they received an anonymous report that 53-year-old David McKenzie was not following his house arrest conditions and was in contact with a witness in his criminal case. McKenzie was found guilty in October of OUI, aggravated assault, and leaving the scene of a crime after hitting a pedestrian in Brewer while driving home drunk from a bar. He was sentenced to 15 months in jail.
In January, a judge ordered McKenzie to be placed on house arrest for violating his post-conviction bail conditions. Holden police say on Saturday evening they saw McKenzie pull into his driveway with the witness.
Police say that they tried to contact McKenzie at his home, but he refused to leave his residence. They say a search warrant was obtained and authorities entered the residence where the witness was found hiding. McKenzie was arrested without incident and is being held without bail at Penobscot County.